the Jewish people were commanded to slaughter Korban Pesach. Even though Korban Pesach was the Egyptians' god, אז זה היה האלוהים של המצרים, yet they did it. They did it, and Hashem told he should take agudas ezoiv, means a bundle of type of yerek min yerek, that has givoilim, Rashi says, kind of a vegetable. You should dip it in the blood, in a vessel, and he should touch the mashkov, which means is the roof of the door, and the two mezuzahs are two sides of the beams that hold the door, the top of the door. And number two, he says, nobody should leave the house until the morning. Why? So Chazal learn, Mikan, shenitno reshus lamashchis lechabel, eino mafchid betzadik la'osha. When Hashem gives permission to the angels of damage to damage, he doesn't make a difference between a tzaddik and a rosha. And since Velayla Reshus LaMechablimu, and the night is the time of damagers, of Hashem allows the angels of damage to damage. So therefore, Shenemar Botirmo is called Chayosoyoah. At night, Hashem allows them to run, all the animals to run around, which means animals is the night is the time of the animals to run around and eat and grab and hurt people. So since it's the moment that really Hashem in nature gives the animals right to run around, damaging animals, run around, a person should not go out of his house, and this is a great need. And if he does, he puts himself in danger. So since the night is a time the person should not go out anyhow, because Hashem allows the mazikim to run around, because that's their lifetime. That's the time they run and live and do whatever they need to. So if you put yourself in that danger, you cause yourself your own trouble. You cause yourself your own trouble. The Gemara in Baba Kama Daf Samach says, Eino mafchid ben tzadikim l'reshoyim. Hashem is not, which means Hashem allows the angels to damage even a tzaddik. Why? Because he puts himself in danger. He brought the danger to himself. They say, the Chazoni says, a person has to be careful from ayin hara, evil eye. If a person does things and he brings evil eyes on him, it's his fault. And the Chazoni says that he was a tzaddik, but the fact that he allowed, he shepherded, they say in Yiddish. He played around with, or he seduced, he brought upon himself the ayin hara. So he caused himself damage, and that itself is a reason for the damage, because when a person is not careful with what Hashem created in the world, which is ayin hara, he hears animals, wild animals run around outside of the city, and he's not careful, so that itself is a sin. And that itself should be a reason for him to be damaged. So here, Hashem told the Jewish people, don't leave. It's a time of danger, stam, don't leave. And anyone leave will get punished, will get damaged with the Maloche Chabol. Okay. And Hashem says he will go through all the houses, and the Egyptian's house that he doesn't have, so he will hurt them. But the Jewish home that he sees, the mitzvah that the Jewish people did, the blood and the mashkov and the mezuzahs, Hashem will jump upon those houses and will not allow the angel of death to enter the house to damage. Okay. Hashem says, Ushmarta, be careful. Ushmarta mazor, be careful, guard this thing. Not only now, forever. Means always we slaughter, we have Korban Pesach. When you come to land of Eretz Yisrael, so then you have to make sure you have to do this avodah. Your children ask you, what is this avodah? You tell them, Zeva Pesach Lashem. Hashem saved us. And then it says, Vayikoi da'om vayishtachu. When the Jewish people heard this, that through the mitzvah of Korban Pesach and putting the blood on their house, Hashem will bring the plague of Makas Bechoros on the Egyptians. And that will cause them to leave Egypt. It's a Geula redemption. Zol shoin zayin the Geula will be Geula there. And it will come to Eretz Yisrael because it says you have to make sure to continue this Korban Pesach to your children and grandchildren, Choy Koilam. So it means you'll come to the land of Eretz Yisrael. It says when you come to Israel, continue doing that. So the whole nation bowed down to Hashem. When they heard the Geula, Bias Haaretz, and Hashem told them they're going to have children. So imagine Hashem tells them three things. Geula, redemption, coming to the land of Eretz Yisrael, and the Besoiro, the news that they're going to have children. So what they did, all bow down to Hashem and thank Hashem.
I don't understand. I understand the first Geula of Geula, so is Geula, I understand.
Yes.
These sorts of children had children.
Because no,
They had children.
but more children. And then no, but if you have a children, no. The Yerushalmi says a person has children and they die without children, it's not considered have children. A person has children and his children die without children, they don't have children, so you're not making mitzvah privilege.
I know, but
so that's an answer. If they heard that their children will have children, I'm answering you. Not their children. Their children will have children. Grandchildren. So they were happy. Now, Vayikoi da'om vayishtachu, the entire nation bowed down to Hashem. Kida, you know what's Kida? Kida, nishtachave means a person bows down. Kida means it's flat. And then what happens? The pasuk says like follows. Vayelchu vayasu bnei Yisrael. The Jewish people went and they did. Listen, a very amazing pasuk. This pasuk, chapter 12, verse 28. Vayelchu, they went. Vayasu bnei Yisrael, the children of Israel did. Kasher tziva Hashem es Moshe v'Aaron. Hashem commanded Moshe and Aaron. And then the Torah repeats, Ken asu, and they did so. They now being announced in three things: Geula, Bias Haaretz, Beseras Sabonim, redemption coming to the land of Israel, and continuation of this descendants. Great news. They went and they did what Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, and it says Ken asu, they did so. It's a double language. Just to say, and they did. It says they went and they did, the Jewish people, what Hashem told Moshe out, and they did it, and they did so. So many double languages here. And when we talk about walking, so Rashi says, wait a second. This parsha was told that was being told them, is being said to them by Rosh Chodesh, Rosh Chodesh. And they told them when the 15th of the month come in, then you'll do so. So they didn't do it at that moment. So Rashi, first of all, brings a Mechilta and he says that Vayelchu Vayasu, they walked and they did, Bnei Israel, means only through Machshava Kabbalah. And since they accept upon themselves to do so, Hashem considered as they did. The fact they accept upon themselves to listen to Hashem, to do it, Hashem considered it as if they did. Machshava k'maisa, thought like an action. There's a Gemara in Kiddushin has a big discussion. If Hashem considered thinking, what?
Because Hashem, when we are in Mount Sinai, if we don't accept the Torah, they will kill us.
That's not the subject here. Here they listen to Hashem, they accept upon themselves to do Korban Pesach, and that acceptance Hashem considered as if they did. Normally the Gemara in Kiddushin has a shaila, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu considered machshava like maise, machshava tov, a good thought like an action, or a machshava ra, a bad machshava. So the Gemara says machshava that has fruits or doesn't have fruits. The Gemara says avodah zarah Hashem considers thought like an action, but machshava tov, a good thought, Hashem considered action. See here, the fact that a good thought to listen to Hashem considers this like an action. What do you want to say?
I was just curious. The Baal HaTurim said like it was for the Pesach offering and the circumcision. Like you're saying, they brought it upon themselves. What circumcision are they referring to? Are they referring to all the proselytes that joined them in the land of Egypt? Because when they exited the land of Egypt, they exited with a multitude of people. That's a lot of converts joined them from this.
No, not because converts. No, they themselves. Some of them didn't do circumcision. They did. Because you cannot bring Korban Pesach unless you're circumcised. So they did two things, circumcision and also did the Korban Pesach. What? Oh, in a Priya, so that's when he finished Priya. Okay. So Baal HaTurim is an answer. It's one of the answers. Why it says double also. One is Pesach, one is Milah. But we're not following that. We're following Rashi. One second. So Rashi says, what is Vayelchul Vayasu didn't do so? Is Hashem considered a good thought, like as if they did. He continues. She just said they did. Why? He says they walked and did. Listen what it says. Afa alicho, even the walking. Mona kosuv, the Torah counted it. Litan schar la alicho v'schar le'asiyah. Hashem says, I'm going to give them double reward. A reward of walking towards it, and a reward of doing. The Gemara says in the Dorim that Rabbi Yochanan had a neighbor. She was a lady. She was a woman. And this woman, she's a widow. And she used to come to David, and a neighbor. She used to be a member of his congregation. She'd come to David in the shul, and he asked her, where do you live? He says, I live a very far out place. He says, so why you come to daven here? Why don't you pray in your area? So she said, the schara alicho is the reward of walking is something small by you. Which means if I'll daven in my own synagogue in my area, I walked. ועבר חצויס? חצי שעה התפלל פעמיים מנחה.
אבל אני יכול לעשות פסוקי דזמרה של הבוקר?
סתם כמו, בלי ברוכס, כן. להגיד פסוקים של תהילים מותר, אבל בלי ברכות. לי ברוך שאמר, לי ברוך אתה השם, לי משתבח. אבל סתם, נכון? אבל העיקר להתפלל מנחה פעמיים.
או מה תהיה מנחה, כמה דקות.
בשיר של יום?
גם אתה יכול להגיד, זה לא גורם. אין בזה שום בעיה. אוקיי. עוד 10 דקות, רבע שעה. Okay. So he says, so why he says they walk and they did? Because Hashem gave them a reward to walk. So that's what this woman told Rabbi Yochanan. I can daven where I live. She was a widow. But I come here especially to daven Rabbi Yochanan's shul. Rabbi Yochanan was a great rabbi, and I get a reward of walking. There was a rabbi called Bar Beirav de Chadyoim. Was a student that used to learn only one day. He used to walk a couple of months, learn one day, walk back a couple of months. So he learned by Rav, Bar Beirav lechad yoyim. One day, he says, one day I'll come to the Bismillah of Rav. Wow, it was worth it, right? If he had after a living, you have a Bismedish. You would walk 6 months to get this Bismedish. Even you did it one day a year.
He had no money, he was so poor, and I walked half hour for bubble half a year.
Half a year. Imagine he walked half a year just to be learned one day. So now, what did he learn in one day? What the rest of the year? But that one day that he learned, he got rewarded because he had to walk for 6 hours. Hashem gave him schar psiyah. Schar psiyos. Even the reward of walking towards it, it's all part of the schar. So here, Hashem gave the Jewish people not only a reward on the machshava and the thinking, not only a reward on the walking and actually doing it. And then it says a double language. So first of all, they didn't do it. Hashem said as if they did it. Machshava kemaise. Number two, Hashem considered the alicha. And then it says vayasu twice. Kasher tziva Hashem es Moshe la'agit shifchon shel Yisrael, to say the praise of the Jewish people. Shelo yipilu dovo mikol mitzvahs Moshe v'Aaron. They didn't even do nothing less than the commandment of Moshe and Aaron. Umau kenosu. Right. So what does it mean? They did it so. So Rashi says it goes on Moshe v'Aaron, not on them, because we already said they did. The Baal HaTurim says one is Pesach, one is Milah. Okay. So what the Torah is telling us? The Jewish people were faced in a very, very big challenge. Because here they're a slave for 80 years, 210 years, 80-something years, strong slavery. And then altogether 200-something, 10 years. And now you have Moshe and Aaron giving the Egyptians 9 plagues and the 10th plague. And they're coming to the point of that they have to take the God of the Egyptians, of their masters, and have to change their perception of being a slave head, a slave mentality, and take the gods of their master and slaughter them and do a mitzvah with it and being protected. That's a very big task for them to do. And the fact, Hashem is megale, that even though the spouse was 15 days before, vayelchu ve'asu, the fact they accepted upon themselves to fulfill and do the Moshe and Aaron's mitzvah, which was a big task. They will be afraid. Shabbos HaGodoy, why we call it the Great Shabbos before Pesach? Because 4 days before, they had to take the korban and tie it to the bed and check there's no blemish. And all the masters and the Egyptians walk around and they see that they're planning to kill their God. So that wasn't chick-chack and was it with preparation. They got the Parshat 2 weeks before to be prepared. They had to choose the animal. They have to check them, there's no blemish, tie them to the bed.
What is the meaning of the secret part of that? Not the chat, the secret of taking the animal, check it, that she's good, the sort of that. Because we study the beautiful story of, but the secret inside. What is the meaning of?
First we have to study the simple meaning. The simple meaning is that when you bring God a sacrifice, the sacrifice cannot be blemished. As well, that's in the remez. So you cannot be blemished. When you come in front of God, you want to bring yourself as a sacrifice. If you blemish the sacrifice, yes. If you blemish with your character and your midot and all that, it doesn't become a gift, it becomes a disgrace. So how important is to make sure that we no blemish and we come to God is not becoming a disgrace. It says, Mi Hashem says, who brings the Piseach, the Piseach and Gazul, stolen animal, or Piseach means a crippled animal. מי ביקש מידכם זאת? Who nobody asked you from. Hashem said, I didn't ask you to bring such sacrifice. Sacrifice is Barech Nietzet Hashem. When you bless, it's not blessing, it's Chaz v'Sholom. It's opposite of blessing. If you bring such an animal with blemish, so that doesn't become a blessing, it becomes an oppositional blessing.
How am I supposed to do? Because I have a 35 right now, right? And I only 5 years of the Shuvah, and in that 5 years, I only study here, Torah.
Yes.
Because in the moment, I must be, I need like 35 years to be in Ephes, like in zero, because all my life was like a goy life.
Right.
And when I step in front of God, what is supposed to say?
So I'll answer you. There was a woman, she was a convert, was named Naomi. You heard about Naomi?
Naomi, yeah.
Naomi and Ruth Moavia. So Naomi, she was Jewish. She had a daughter-in-law named Ruth. And she said to her, Iten Hashem lach maskortech. Hashem will give you your wage. And the Goyim Vilna explains that there was a big blessing. That when a convert or Baal Tshuva is the same, when he does Tshuva or he converts to Judaism, but from the moment he knows Hashem, he puts all his energy to Hashem. Hashem gives him reward as if he was born earlier, he was born religious, and he did conversion before, he would live such a good life of Torah and mitzvahs. So Hashem fulfills those days as if he did it. So it depends on you now. If right now that you know Hashem and you know Torah, and you start ripping the klippos out of you, right? You start ripping to the fruit. What's going to be? What is you in your heart in the next 10 years? Are you going to be fall out to Yetzer Hara and go to work and with girls and women and run after money? If you need money is one thing, but running after money is something else. Or things that, or leaving Torah and mitzvahs, not really putting all your heart in Hashem. So then Hashem cannot say, "Oh, I'm going to count your years back as if you're born now to finish out your years." But if you, or the minute you know Hashem, you put all your energy to Hashem, Hashem gives a reward, maskortech shleima. What is a complete wage? Even you only worked part of your life, Hashem will give you maskortech shleima, a complete wage. It's a big yesod for Baal Tshuva convert. When a person converts, I always tell him this going to be you should know. A person become a Baal Tshuva, now he's a light of Hashem. Now you have no way out. If you put all your energy, you get maskoret shlema. If you be wishy-washy, comme ci, comme ça, so then what happens? You don't get a complete wage. For you do. Whatever you don't do, you don't do. Whatever you didn't do, you didn't do.
When I made my mom don't say to me until 13 years that I'm sure. And when she tell me my grandmother is Cohen, my grandmother is Levi, and my grandfather is Israel.
Yes, yeah.
And when she tell me that I'm sure, I want to be sure 100%, but she can't afford my studies. As I start eating vegetables because she don't have money to buy meat, kosher meat, and because I came to Israel to learn Hebrew to know how to pray because I want to be with God. I never had God in my life until 13 years, and then when I came here to Israel, I feel like I'm in the holy place, and I go to a Philodin school. And I stopped putting my tefillin and doing Shabbos, and then all the Ruach HaShtut get into me, and it was a very heavy way to be with God. And then I need to Mahala, a lot of fear. When I came back to Argentina with 17 and 26, like all this year, I didn't even go out without my mom or my dad, without my house, because I was scared. Because all the רוח השטות is alive, אז היה לי דרך מאוד מאוד קשה. וכשאני הגעתי מפה,
Doesn't matter. Only Hashem can judge you. But the bottom line is, from now on, if you put all your energy, not that you're already in yeshiva, you have chokhmah. You start learning about Hashem, you have the wisdom of Hashem. If you put all your energy onwards, Hashem will give you maskoret shleima, a complete maskoret. You want, you don't want, it depends on you. So you can't complain you weren't born religious. You can't complain you weren't converted until now. But you know this, Calvin, when a person converts, he has to bring a korban. You know why? A sin offering. Because the minute he knew about God, he delayed his conversion, he gets punished. The Gemara says, why Geirim are Meunim, there was affliction of problems? Because when they knew about Hashem, they didn't jump right away to convert. Right away. They dill-dally, they walked around, I'll go mañana tomorrow. Not right away. They have to bring a sin offering. So here Hashem considered the machshava, the thoughts of the Jewish people, the walking of the Jewish people. Everything Hashem has considered them, He gave them a reward. Why? Because such a big challenge. And they made a decision to slaughter and to kill the God of their master that they had a slave mentality. It was a slave mentality, a mentality of a slave. That to change all that and take the God of the master and slaughter it. Hashem said, hey, even the machshava, even the walking, the asiyah, everything, Hashem gave them a reward for everything. Maskoret shlema, a complete reward. That's a big lesson to us. Hashem gave them la'alicho, schar la'alicho, schar la'asiyah, all of it. There's a big shvach on the Jewish people. So the more challenge you have, you cannot be scared. You should be happy if you win. The more challenge you have, Hashem will give you a bigger reward. And not only that, Hashem can give you a complete reward even when you pass. Or here in our sugya, in our Parshat's future. Sachar just on the machshava, on their future, what they do. Already, in fact, you accept upon yourself, already Hashem gives you a reward. On the accepting, on the walking, on the doing, everything Hashem accumulates all that, and He's looking for ways to give you more reward because it was a big challenge. So the person is Baal Tshuva, he has challenges. You can't imagine. Don't get depressed. You should be happy. You have those challenges. Okay, you're a convert, you come to a new country. Who's going to help you? Who will recognize your papers, who you are, what you are, who's going to marry you. You have a lot of fear, a lot of disturbance, and a lot of uncertainty. And you trust Hashem, and you go forward. You pour all your heart to Hashem. Hashem sees that. And then He will give you maskoyer shleim, a complete wage. With Shabbos. Rabbi Hananya ben Akash Yoimet. All HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Zach Yisrael, the Fikach.